Hey fam, thanks so much for joining me today. So, you guys, this week we have a special guest. Her name is Dr. Nicole Swiner. I am so excited for you guys to talk to her and hear things that she has to say to help us along. So, just to give you guys a little background on her, not a little, she is such a dynamic woman. She's a professor, author, she's a physician, family medicine, a mom, a wife, name it, she does it. She's a publisher. So, all of these things. So, you guys, please welcome Dr. Nicole Swiner. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, this is so great. So, I'm just going to jump right into questions as I usually do. So, all of these accolades that I just named out to our audience here, um, how do you keep that work-life balance? Tell us about that.
Yes. Work-life balance is an interesting topic and phenomenon. Most of us ladies who are very type A and doing multiple things and wearing many hats are always kind of looking for this balance. However, I've learned over time with getting married and having kids and having businesses that balance really doesn't exist. It does, but it really doesn't. It's all about essentially integration. So, particularly if you are an entrepreneur, it's about weaving in the things that you are most passionate about so that they kind of fit together.
Mm,
Because there really is no off on switch. If you're a solopreneur, you're always kind of thinking about business ideas and always thinking about the family and all of these things together. So long story short, sorry, I don't know if I can give advice on balance, but I've been trying to do, and I focus a lot on self-care and trying to carve out spaces of time for yourself so that you can take care of all these other things.
mhm. How can we ourselves, some of us are moms, we are entrepreneurs, we don't wear as many hats as you do. However, with the work-life balance with ourselves, how do we keep ourselves from that superwoman complex?
Yeah, exactly. The biggest thing is asking for help, truly. I, definitely am blessed to have a great support team, and primarily that means my husband. My kids, now they're a little bit older, they're 7 and 9. They are also able to help a little bit more around the house. The key to the Superwoman complex and avoiding the Superwoman complex is just understanding that you can't do it all. You can't. We strive to, we aspire to, and we hope to, but it's just not doable because burnout is a real thing.
Yeah.
So I think asking for help and knowing that you don't have to be perfect is the first step, and that's probably the hardest thing for a lot of us, is saying, it almost feels like a failure for some of us to delegate and to ask someone to go do things that we think that we can handle. So that's the number one thing. And then the number two thing is, if you know me personally, I love sleep. And we were just laughing a little bit about our vision changing in older age.
Mhm.
Um, so getting good rest. If I don't get my good 6 to 8 hours average a night, then the next day I'm in a horrible mood and I can't think right and I feel tired. And so
Yeah.
sleep is very, very important. Those are just kind of two quick tips that are my favorite.
It's awesome because I think, Nicole, you can attest to this. I think sometimes we're afraid to ask for help or we don't know how to ask for help because we're already overwhelmed.
Right.
So that was a good point. I'm glad you brought that up to all of us because we need to surrender sometimes and ask for the help.
Hmm.
We really do. So, as we're talking about the Superwoman complex, I think you have an event that's going to be coming up soon that we all could probably benefit from. Could you tell us a little bit more about the event that's happening soon?
Absolutely. So, I started writing these books probably 7 or 8 years ago. I have two on the Superwoman complex, and that just kind of naturally rolled into having women's events and talking about mental health and doing some speaking. And then I decided that I wanted to kind of start doing my own event series. And New Year, New You is my first of the year annual event that I've been doing now for 7 years.
Wow.
And clearly, with the pandemic, now we're all pivoting to virtual. So this will
Hmm.
be the second, actually, it'll be the third coming up, the third pandemic-based virtual event that I'm having on January the 9th in the new year. And it's, classically the stuff I love to talk about and the friends that I love to talk to about women's health, mental health, entrepreneurship, work-life integration, starting a business, publishing. It's all the stuff that I find interesting that I hope will help others. And because of, COVID-19 and because of my family doc background, clearly we'll talk about the pandemic and how it's affecting us and how we'll move forward coming up in the new year. So it's going to be online. So anyone can join from anywhere.
It sounds exciting, really dynamic, lots of things to learn. And it sounds like lots of tools that we could walk away with and put in our toolbox to help us out.
It's a lot of fun. It ends up kind of turning into a party because, again, if you know me personally, and my husband, DJ Big Fella, who was our resident DJ, it's all about having a good time
Yeah.
and celebrating life and encouraging and uplifting one another. And during that mix where we have the live music and we're learning how to, do a cooking demonstration and do some cocktail mixing. It's actually co-sponsored by Tito's homemade vodka this year. While we're, mixing it up and having fun and listening to live music from my DJ husband, I'm sliding in some helpful medical information or I'm sliding in some helpful
Love
mental
it.
health information. So you don't feel like you're learning something, but you're learning a lot.
Awesome. And having fun while we're doing it, right? That's awesome. So I wanted to ask you one of my last questions I wanted to ask here, and I know the audience wants to ask as well. Out of all these hats you wear, I don't know if you can, it may be hard to do, but what would be your favorite hat that you wear?
I know it's probably politically correct to say mom. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for this, but it's actually wife. It's actually wife.
Oh,
This pandemic, really, I mean, I'm, not to be sappy, but this pandemic, if nothing else, has solidified, edified, and confirmed that I'm with the right partner, really, truly. He is, Rick Swiner is my husband, aka DJ Big Fella, and just having to go through such a chaotic situation together and hold down the family and the household and be together, it really confirmed that I like him a lot.
I love
You know,
it.
we've been together, and I could not have gotten through this crazy year and all these years that we've been together, and motherhood and entrepreneurship. None of this stuff that I have going on right now, I would
Mhm.
have if it weren't for him, and of course, the Lord. But having a partner that is supportive, that doesn't mind if I need to sit down and rest, and he picks up the pieces if I
Oh,
can't, if I need to go take a nap and I don't want to feel like doing dinner or doing the girl's hair, like he
yes.
really is my biggest cheerleader. So, you know, a a wife actually is number one.
Oh, that is so awesome. So,
Shortly after the birth of my first kid, going back to work, handling all these things, trying to be the perfect wife and mom, he would often tell me, "Sit down, like
oh,
stop what you're doing, like you look tired, sit." And that had a
mm,
lot to do with me figuring out what changes I needed to make and what adjustments would work better so that I would feel like a whole person to be able to take care of all these other people. So I actually do credit him a lot with helping to figure out that I was a superwoman to begin with and that I need to preach this ministry to other women so that we can take better care
mhm.
of ourselves.
Yes. But Nicole, thank you so much for giving us some time out of your busy day, trying to be a doctor, mom, all those things, a great wife. So we really appreciate your time and answering a few questions and just spending time here with me and my audience today. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Y'all come and hang out for New Year, New You on January the 9th.
We sure will. And audience, thank you for being here with us today. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.